my beautiful friends. Welcome back, everybody. I am on the run today, really trying to find time to do a live, but I read some of your comments on my latest upload. When I was asking you a question, if you believe or if you think that people with polar political beliefs and different values can really be creating a meaningful relationships and live in peace. Well, I think I called this video "Can a conservative man marry a liberal woman?" I mean, of course he can, but should he? That's the question. And I think the same goes for the other side. The same goes for the woman, for the conservative woman that has traditional values. How extremely difficult that would be with a liberal man. I actually think that with some suffering, but the opposite could work sometimes, because man is the leader. And when you, the problem with men who are very liberal, very gender fluid, with that metrosexual kind of vibe, that are not sure about things, they are very bad leaders. And we can actually see that, we can even see it in a political arena, that all the weaker feminine men or free liberal thinking men, I mean, not thinking, they are think their countries, I don't, this is not a political video, but when a strong leader comes, he makes his statements, he changes everything, he makes order and everything, if you know what I mean. Things are going start to go in the right direction because the father is home. And I read some of the comments. It was very interesting because some of you were sharing that on your example that you made a mistake when you married a liberal minded woman, that it was very difficult. And I think when you are young, we're all making these kind of mistakes. We don't think who is, about beliefs that much unless we are very conscious or have some very good mentors. But, honestly, love does not conquer all. It doesn't. When you planning to be with somebody for a lifelong time, and especially you're planning children, imagine that you have opposite beliefs, opposite views. And for example, your spouse is okay if uh, your daughter will share the bathroom with a biological male. It's like, oh, you have to be tolerant. We are party of acceptance. No, you're only party of acceptance when you have no stake in it. When your child is not risking their life and their innocence and their security. That's when you're party of acceptance. I was very anti-war from the day one, and I was praying for our father of the nation here in the United States to come home because I wanted to end. Because I knew that if he would not come and force the rules and force things to end, it will go endless. Because some people, some men that happen to be in power have no idea, what they're doing. It's just having leadership position is not for everybody, and conservative men tend to have very clear, very definite values, ideas, and goals. That is the difference with, this liberal fluid. Maybe I'm a man, maybe I'm a woman, maybe I am a cat, maybe I'm a dog. And, when you are in a relationship with somebody, you want to have so many more things in common than different. You can be from different cultures and countries, but you absolutely have to have common values and common things that unite you. and the more we have those things, the better. But when you have children, if even if we take all the liberal woke stuff like LGBTQ agenda, which is, I think children must be protected from this till they are grown, they shouldn't even know about this kind of stuff. But imagine not having a role model, not so imagine that um, you have to fight about every way or every thing with your spouse about the child, like the way you raise him, what his schedule is, what he's reading, what he is watching. When you have opposite beliefs, when you believe in the different things, it's a life of suffering. I absolutely think that it's absolute nonsense. I'm gonna be a lady and say nonsense to say that love conquers all. If love would conquer all, we wouldn't have so many divorces. We wouldn't have children that are left by their parents. We wouldn't have children that are taken advantage of. We would not have so much pain in our society. Jason, please share what you mean. I cannot stay today, guys, for too long, but I just wanted to come on. Please share what you mean. Jason is saying I have experience such in life. Please let me know. Hi, everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome back, guys. Remember, I need your help too. So please comment, share, subscribe if you enjoy my video, my talks. Yeah, so I think, I read some comments and some of my subscribers. I really appreciate your point of view. And for me, I do believe in common human values. I have friends that feel different than me and look at things different than me, but they're friends. They are not somebody that you share your life with. They're not somebody you raise a child with. That is different. And I think in general, people of opposite belief should come together and should share bread together and should give love. But when that comes to the most intimate relationship of your life, I think it's absolutely crucial to be real and to know right away. Once your hormones, once your excitement will evaporate, once reality will hit, you will hate every minute of your life, because you know education is so important for children and those values you put in them. If you believe that education is important, reading time is important, what kind of books your child is reading, what kind of shows that your child is watching, or maybe he's not watching any shows and studying, or and at the same time you have spouse that believes in the opposite. It's very, very difficult. I did it, it was not political in my case, but I did experience that actually growing up as well. My dad was a very intellectual kind of guy, and he believed in discipline. He believed in doing hard things. He believed in very little TV. He believed in very little entertainment. He believed in planning things. He believed in calculating things. He was very rational, very uh, powerful man. He was a scientist and he was building things and creating things, and his analytical thinking was uh, top notch. He was on top of um, everything that he wanted to achieve in life. My mother was the complete opposite. It's interesting because she was very educated as well, but she has completely different interest. She really was enjoying other things, and they were not aligning on what to watch, what to read. And for the long run, that's just a test that shows that you are not aligned. But before, you can kind of live with it. Before, it doesn't matter. It's not like your spouse going to take off and allow to uh, change your child's gender. It's not like you will be so gullible as a man and you allow your little daughter to share bathrooms with other men. For me, I think the biggest problem here, I'm going to be a little bit biased, but I would say that for men it is worse for a woman. uh, I mean, for men, it is worse to be clueless. I'm not saying it's great for a woman to be clueless, but man is, you can't, the problem is you cannot respect a man who has no idea what he's doing. You know, you cannot respect a man who is gullible, who believes in every agenda, you know, who watches TV, the mainstream media that has been blindly lying about everything. And, is this man supposed to be a leader for your life? You guys have to understand that a woman can never love a man she doesn't respect. I don't care what she tells you, I don't care how people try to sugarcoat it, but a woman can never love you when she doesn't respect you. And you cannot respect a man that he cannot even protect his own self. How do you protect your own self if you believe every lie on TV and you don't want to protect your child? You want your child go to public school and get brainwashed. Yes, I mean, most of people, many people cannot afford a private school. So your child, we pay taxes for public schools, but the father should realize and protect their children and protect their family and be brave enough to speak out and be brave enough, to vote for two genders and for leaving our children alone from all this nasty gay shit. I don't know how else to say this. I am so glad that right now our nation has a father. I feel, my father unfortunately passed away several years ago, and I miss him dearly. And every day I remember the things that he told me. And sometimes I wander off, sometimes I fall, from the things I'm supposed to be doing, but I remember and I know exactly what he would say. And, at least I feel that now we have a father of this nation who came to a mess, who came to fix this bloody mess that is going have been going out of control, literally. Fire, death, war, getting worse, just getting encouraged further and further. And that is why, if you imagine love conquers all. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. Stupidity doesn't conquer anything. And when you choose somebody for life, there's a completely different criteria. That's why sometimes it's harder when you are an aware person, when you have had on your shoulders, when you have strong beliefs. I know men and women both suffer from this. When you have your mind, it's not that easy. You can find people that you have chemistry with, but it's harder to find people that you're attracted to, and yet you're attracted to their thought process, to the analytical ability. For me, a man who is easily gullible defeats the purpose, because how he's supposed to protect and take decisions and make calculations and in every area of life, the children, the finance, the health. We just dodged the bullet with all those mRNA vaccines or whatever. So many cheers to all the parents who stood strong and did not let experiments run on their children. I felt so much pressure. I felt like, well, I was very young when USSR fell apart, but I felt like I was back in the time when you were forced to do things, you know, when you were just um, forced. You didn't have the choice. And here we have the situation, with the with this whole vaccination issue. And imagine if you against it and you want to protect your child's health and your spouse feel like, oh no, you are irresponsible, and they secretly take your child, your common child, and go do that to them. So I'm sorry, but no, love does not conquer all. And the thing is, most people don't know what love is. Maybe infatuation conquers all for about 3 months. When you infatuated with somebody, your hormones are out of control. You know, your sexual desires and fantasies are out of control. Yeah, I would say infatuation conquers all for a very short time, because you don't care who they are, what they think, what they believe. You just have this, yeah, chemical reaction, you know, hormones. We are made this way, you know. We are very mysterious creatures, I would say. But yeah, when the reality hits, that's a main reason for most divorces, that people never learn who they are. You know, people never learn who they are, what they stand for. And most heartbreaking thing in the world, when you have children and you are on opposite spectrums, and your child doesn't have a solid base, your child does not have protection, and you leave it to the chance. That is the most awful thing. So that's why, me personally, no, I absolutely do not believe that it can work. That men and women who don't feel, who are not on the same page, especially now time, especially in this day and age, I absolutely do not believe they can last. Yeah. Hey, Roger. Yes, we have some changes. I really don't understand why in the United States children are getting poisoned. I really don't understand why they put all that crap in our food. I don't understand why school lunch cannot even be called food. I don't understand why I should, you know, I have been making schools lunches for a decade. No, for like decade and a half. You know, I'm from Ukraine, where we used to have real food, real cafeteria where they cook real food. Just normal, simple, real food. But I have to, you know, sometimes get up at 6 a.m. Oh, I forgot to make him lunch, you know. Thank you, Roger. You're such a gentleman. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, you know, my friends used to joke, you know, here when you send your child to school or to daycare, you getting ready like you're getting ready for the war. Because, you know, you have to bring so many things ready. Because if you don't, your child will eat some really weird stuff. Like, honestly, what happened to school lunches? And imagine that you have a wife that's like, oh, it's okay, you know, it's just a snack, you know, and it's just bunch of chemicals. It's disgusting. That food is not eatable. You know, you. I mean, only if you about to die, maybe you should eat this so you don't die. You know. So I think it's important to have somebody who have higher standard, and our political beliefs are reflection of our values. I do get confused when people who say that they believe in God and they're religious, believe in God, they have faith, they stand for liberalism and for wokeness, for that are open supporting unaliving children. I have some friends who I know believe in God, but yet they are liberal, and I think, I mean, that is must be the most confusing thing I've ever seen in my life. But most of them, some of them at least, you know, they call themselves liberal, but they are actually living very conservative life. So I'm okay with that, you know, as long as we unite on the principles, you can call it whatever you want, but it is confusion AF. It really is. Yeah, so anyway, my dear friends, I really appreciate you commenting on the video. I know I consulted so many men who were married before, got divorced, and I would say that number one reason, I mean, maybe, yeah, top, in definitely in top three, was that different life views, you know, different views on life, different values. You know, it's very, very difficult. And I don't believe that you can live your life suppressed. You know, you're gonna explode at some point. I don't believe this is love. You can't say that you love somebody when you don't understand, you don't know them, they are hiding from you. Like, this is not love. It's a fake relationship. It's relationship that only based on sexual chemistry and maybe some emotional connection. Okay, I could agree with that. Maybe emotional connection, some sexual chemistry, you know, some sweet feelings, but it's a completely fake relationship. It doesn't have a core bonding, you know, at the core where people stand for the same thing like a monolith. It's not worth it at all. You know, it's not worth it. Let's be real. You know, you might as well just, well, you might as well just be honest with yourself. Hello, Henry. Henry. Hello, Veronica. I agree with you about incompatibility. Different personalities gravitate towards certain political ideologies. Yeah, I mean, it's just the truth, you know. And you know, I had ladies, you know, I have this glamour page on Instagram, and sometimes I have ladies who ask me, you know, they want to look presentable and beautiful, they want to buy furs from me, you know, my other passion, glamorous things and stuff like that. And they sometimes ask me, and I look at their tattoos, I look at their green hair, you know, just what they had done to themselves. And why? 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 I understand that some people are creative and they, you know, they color their hair in different colors and they cover themselves with tattoos. But, you know, this is all self-harm, it's damage, and it's like you given this beautiful body, this beautiful skin, your beautiful eyes. Why do you have to stamp yourself with that? Why do you have to ruin the beauty that was given to you by God, by nature, by your parents? I had, you know, once in a while I used to get, I don't really do much on Facebook, but once in a while I would get attacked on Facebook, you know, because, you know, I believe in classic beauty. And I think that most women are actually inherently beautiful. I mean, yes, it just takes one to appreciate it and frame it right. And you know, once in a while, I'm attacked. You know, women who look like they tortured themselves, and they tell me, "Well, we were like," they would say something that, "Well, it's easy for you to say," and I'm looking at them, and they are not that different from me, except they are covered in a lot of paint, in a lot of ink, would be correct, and just I don't know. I need to make more research to understand why people do that to themselves. But I know that part of it is emotional trauma and self harm. And I feel so bad for the girls right now, for the young girls. They are so lost and confused. And I want to ask everybody who's watching my videos, you know, if you have young people around you, talk to them, you know, show them really beautiful things, show them classic things, tell them, make them feel that they have value, you know, they have inherent value already, intrinsic value. You know, those poor girls that starting their adult activities, I will say, very early in high school, was, it's just why? For what? For what to put yourself in a risk? For what to put yourself in emotional and physical pain in a life of struggle? For what? For what benefit? Because we have these pop stars, you know, Beyonce, all this Cardi B's and whatever else. I don't even know. I don't watch modern music a lot. We have to literally show those examples, and that is why it is so important for fathers and mothers, you know, and for men and women, see beyond passion, beyond their desires, and think, would I be okay being with this person 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Or if you have a daughter, is our daughter going to go to Cardi B concerts? That's a kind of porno, like and allowed pornography? Or are we going to show her classic things, beautiful things, and most importantly, we're going to teach our daughter to love herself and respect herself? It's not a fear mongering that, oh, don't go out with the boys. It's something else. It's like when you teach your daughter to love herself first, to realize that she's valuable, that men should do a lot of hard work to even be in her presence, and he's not entitled to anything. He's not entitled to nothing till he earns it, until the father approves it. That's how it used to be, and it worked. I was recently visiting a friend of mine. She had a beautiful birthday. She had an anniversary, like a special birthday. And I was talking to another friend. She has three daughters. And she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may have to change the country, but there is no way these losers, like this man, approaching my daughter in any size, shape, or form, because she knows about this casual culture and hookup culture. She's like, I'm garnering my daughter with a sword. Well, and her husband is on the same page with her, which is a beautiful thing. I understand that life is not always turned out perfectly. Or out of all people, I definitely understand this. But I think setting yourself for a life of pain when you only marrying a woman because of lust, because you never had a hotter woman, you scored, and she's liberal AF. She doesn't have conservative values. She doesn't value family. She's very questionable. You're embarrassed to introduce her to your parents. It's not gonna be good, but you're so driven by lust. Just understand that this will backfire. Sooner or later, it will backfire, and you will be embarrassed. I have so much passion for this topic. Hi, thank you. Yes, modern girls has a lot of personal identity issues for sure. Hello, Vargos de la Morte. Welcome. Veronica, you are looking beautiful as ever. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome, Vrakos. I don't know if you had a different name before, but I appreciate the kind words. Craig is saying it's so important for young people to learn self-respect and also how to say no to what they want now so they can have a much better life and mental spiritual health later on. Yes, and absolutely. And in order to do that, you need guidance, you need parenting, you need love and support by parents. I mean, you need to have at least one sane parent, sane, but preferably two. You don't know how life is going to turn out. We all don't know. But it's just a big lie that people can get along when they are deeply, foundationally opposites. It is not true. I can tell you right now, it is not true. I've lived some of it, but again, it wasn't that political. It was just a question of preferences. But, I understand my father a lot better right now, that he was trying to make a human out of me. He wanted certain qualities for me to possess, and I understand this and have been for a while. And my mother, she was very smart. She just had a different kind of intelligence. She was more on a creative side, and she appreciates other kinds of arts. I mean, but they both were educated, and they had quite a bit of conflict, with certain things. They had quite a bit of conflict still, but nobody was painting hair green or covering children with tattoos or doing things like that. So yeah, I just want to say that, that's a beautiful idea, but you don't want to subject your children to that. You don't want also as a man, you want to be an authority. You don't want to be with a woman that simply does not respect you, does not respect your principles, and does not follow you. And for us ladies, it's impossible again to love a man we don't respect. I Yesterday I uploaded that video. It cut off. I wanted to share a little bit about the coaching clients that I have, and I already know that it's not going to work out because the situation is kind of reverse. I'm helping a lady, and she met this man. I mean, he's a nice man, but he's so fluid. Like, I call him gender fluid. Like, he gets emotional a lot. He's looking to her for support. He wants her to plan things. um he allows his emotions to get best of him. um she's not, yeah, they are polar in their beliefs, and it shows early on. And she was crying because she felt like, she met somebody who she likes otherwise. But then I think that as women, we look to men for stability, for support, because we are, by nature, we are more emotionally, we are more emotional, we need love, we need to give love, we need to receive love. We are different. We are not of this world in some way. We are divine and magical, and but we can only be divine and magical and mysterious and loving and nurturing and all of these things when we have that strong support close to us, because when we don't, we have to tend to ourselves, we have to care, and we have to protect ourselves. All that magic evaporates. It's very hard to love liberal men. It's impossible because there is a definite lack of masculinity. I mean, how do you do that? I don't know. I have no experience, but I imagine it's impossible. Too soft, too fluid, too submissive, too people pleasing, too weak, too gullible. How can you love that? Please tell me in the comments below. Yeah, that's my question. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me, how do you love that? From what angle? All right, my dear friends, thank you so much for joining the discussion. I'm on a road, have a little bit of things going on this evening, but I will see you very soon. Thank you for joining. Please write your thoughts down in the comments, below in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the kind words. I think that we should continue the conversation, and we should really look out for our young ones because they must be so confused right now. All right, my dear friends. Much love from me, and I will see you very soon. Yes, if you want to support my channel, you can get me a cup of coffee. So on my alternative website, and of course, if you share my videos, that's also tremendous help. Thank you so much. I'll see you very soon.